Hey, what up, guys? I'm out here at Horsetooth Rock up in Fort Collins. Horsetooth Mountain, I guess. I'll show you guys a view of it. Just biked up here this morning. But there's the mountain over there. And then here's like the reservoir, if you can see that. Fort Collins in the distance. Pretty epic. Just pretty epic, you know? So yeah, I came up here this morning because I'm feeling super motivated. I was last night, I made all those videos last night and they turned out great. So I just thought I would keep spewing out all this information. Like the camera, make it a little bit more level. There we go. Yeah, so this is gonna be my number one thing, or like I said before, the laziness part was the top thing, but this is gonna be the next thing that you can't be lazy about, you know? And it was really close between yoga and meditation, but like they're the same thing basically. One's just more physical and the other one is more mental. And the one that I'm going to be talking about is the mental one. Observing your thoughts, how you meditate really. People think it's like, oh, you just sit there and try not to think. But it's a lot more difficult than that, or simple than that, a lot more simple than that, I should say. So you don't want to be like fighting your thoughts, you know. You kind of want to work with them and become like a third party to them almost. Be like a shepherd to the sheep, so to speak. When you have a thought come in, it's not like you want to shut that thought in a box and like put it away and make it never come out again, you know. It's just you kind of I really like this metaphor that I think that I don't remember which app it was, but I got a bunch of ads for it a while back, and it was like a meditation app or something like that. Maybe I'll see if I can find that. But the metaphor that they used was this guy sitting on a stool, and every time that his mind would become active, he would get up and walk around and like walk into the trees around him. But the objective of it was, if that's a representation of your mind, is to get it back onto the stool and quiet on the stool. And the more and more and more you do that, and the more you practice, the easier it becomes. So yeah, you kind of just let your thoughts flow and try not to interact with them and like have a conversation in your mind with them, but instead just let the random thoughts come through. So this technique that I use, it's like a reward almost. And instead, like I was saying before, instead of beating yourself up when you have a thought like, oh, I'm meditating, I'm not supposed to be thinking, God, I can't do this, you know, and getting angry, that's the opposite of what you want to do. Instead of doing that, you kind of want to reward yourself for getting back to the stool. So getting back to the center. And the more and more that you do that, you realize that you as a person, you aren't your thoughts really. And a lot of people that meditate will agree on this. It's like you are the ultimate balance that you find once you get back to that stool. One thing that's really easy for people to do to get into meditation, and this doesn't work really if you sleep on your back. I guess you could try and do it on your side. I've meditated on my side before. But I don't really sleep on my back too much. So before I go to bed, I'll take like 20 or 30 minutes just to try and meditate on my back. And that's some of the deepest meditations I've ever gotten, and is on my back, because you don't have to worry about like controlling your posture or whatever. You can just completely relax and sink into the bed on every single exhale, just relaxing over and over and over again. And eventually you can sink deeper and deeper. So yeah, definitely try that out. That's an easy way to get into it. So this technique is also really, really useful. And the I'll make another video here in a sec about getting out in nature and meditating in nature. And one thing that's really good is like taking your shirt off and finding a really big tree, like the biggest tree you can find, and because they're really old and they have a lot of energy stored up in them, and very balanced energy, you know, as their roots grow down, you know, but their trees grow up, and it kind of like, if you look at it with taking the earth away, it's kind of like this beautiful toroid almost. But yeah, put your back and your head against the tree and just let your energy sink into the tree, and the tree knows what to do, trust me. The tree will balance you out very quickly, because that's what they do. They're trees. Yeah, and I'll get into other videos or other techniques that I use for like raising consciousness and raising vibration and remote viewing. I've talked a little bit about that before in a previous one, I think, but yeah, there's a lot of techniques out there, and it's good to be really good at one of them. So that way you're not always thinking like, oh, maybe I should be doing this technique, maybe I should be doing that. And that's another thing that my roommate told me is like, a lot of gurus, I guess is what he's telling me, that say that if you can get really good at one technique, you know, that can be your go-to every time, and you can get into that deep state. I think that's relatively true, but I think there's a lot of experimentation that you should do with other techniques, and get a lot of different flavors of energy, so to say. Yeah, try them out, and I'll be posting a lot of videos on that, and some ones that really resonate at a high level, and I want you guys to know them too. So stay tuned, give me a like.